A little bit. Remember, you're digging your toe into the mat behind you, and you're pointing it into your opponent here. You don't point it straight up. Digging the ball of your foot, pointing it into your opponent, and you're digging your other toes into the mat here. So that way, when Matt tries to flatten my hips out, my hips are staying nice and angled here. As soon as my knee points up, my hips are going to go flat. So I want to point in the direction he's driving into me. So I'm kind of doing a head-on collision here. So in this escape, I'm not going to worry about the knee going over top. I'm going to accept that Matt's already in a pretty good shape to improve his position here. So I'm going to try shrimping his back leg. So both my elbows are inside. He drives that knee across. I bring my bottom knee underneath. Shrimp the bottom leg in. Get out to the half guard. So if we're doing that fast, it's going to look a little bit better here. Boom, digging. As soon as Matt's sliding across the mount, I'm bumping the other leg into my half guard. So I'm anticipating the mount here. That's really the key here. They're in side control. You know they're probably going to try to improve their position. So as soon as Matt slides in the mount, half guard, the other leg. Now with the drill we're going to do, he's just going to pull this leg out. He can go on the other side. I'm going to get my position again. Slow down with the mat. I'm going to get my position again on this side, digging my ball, my foot in the mat. As Matt drives his leg across, trip the bottom leg in, back into half guard. And just keep alternating sides. Do 11 total.
Oh, I guess the
Okay?
total.
One each side. One. Yeah, I don't want to go all the way across to his hip. Just straight down to his stomach spine, straight down. Not reaching up. If I reach up, I'm going to get arm locks. So I'm going straight down here. Now my elbow's in. I'm not doing this. My elbow's in. Bridge on my side. I'm start shrimping out here. This contacts everything. I want you guys to shrimp all the way out. Okay, you're in open guard or whatever. Boom, flatten your leg, your partner crawls back up. Do it again. Shrimp out. And again, and again, and again, so on and so forth. Remember, make contact before you shrimp. And make that frame. It's going to create a wedge where he can't follow you anymore. That's the whole idea. So let's do 7 of those. We're falling behind already. We're dropping the shoulder in, bicep. So she's coming around, she's dipping her shoulder down into my guard. You see a sliding gi, you'll see a sliding no gi too. It just depends on how they're controlling your legs. So the important thing is though, you guys stand back up for me? If someone's passing you standing, you're going to catch something different than if they were passing you kneeling. So since Nora's passing me standing, I can't reach her head. And when she's coming around, a lot of people have a tendency to catch this hip, okay? This is bad. This is not efficient for me. It's a great way to get my wrist smashed, but it feels right. It's something you start doing as a white belt because it feels odd to keep your hips away, but it never actually really works for you. She's just gonna dip her hips and just smash my wrist. Yeah, and just break
just like that.
Yeah, just like that. So what I actually want to do when Nora's passing standing, I want to catch her bicep. So she's coming around and kind of turn onto my hips a little bit. I'm catching right here on her bicep, right here on her shoulder. Now, right now her arm's turned away because she's beating my legs. Now as she reaches towards my head, okay, so we're just gonna stop right here a second. I'm making my arm rigid here. So I'm making this a stiff arm. And I'm gonna crunch in just a little bit, so just a little bit of my back touching the mat. So now when Nora reaches for my head, it just spins me right around. Okay, so I'm making a saucer back. So that's a little bit of my back touching the mat, a lot less friction. If I'm flat here, there's too much contact. I'm not going to be able to move very quickly. I think my back, a little bit of a saucer here. Her pushing me is just going to spin me right back into guard. So as Nora's passing, on my side a little bit, I want to catch her bicep, her tricep area here, her shoulder. She pushes towards my head, spin right back into guard. All right? One more time. You cannot be a good saucer when you're in denial. Thank God Michael was filming when that whole thing happened. Reaches, boom, coming in. Does that make sense to everybody? You got to be ready to catch that. Whenever somebody's on top, 95% of the time they're going to reach for your head because it's a really good option for them. There's really a lot of leverage. So if you catch that bicep, protect yourself from that. You can just carry yourself right back into guard. All right, go for it, guys. Start smashing across my leg here. All right, so from here, look how Nora started to position her head. Her head's on one side of my body, her hips on the other. This is what's going to be a really strong position for her because when she passes into side control, she's going to maintain this, head on one side of my body, hips on the other. If I can disrupt that, if I get her head on the same side of my body as her hips, she won't have any pressure, any control, any leverage over me. So whenever I'm escaping here, she's coming down to kneel, I'm going to catch a collar tie right here. There's a ponytail. Just grab the ball. So when I get the collar tie, I'm actually not grabbing her neck. I want to grab the base of her skull here. I'm folding my forearm into her chest. Now from this position, I'm going to hip out, so I get up on my elbow. Now the idea is, I'm making a frame here. I'm not trying to stiff arm her head away. I'm actually standing pretty tight. I'm trying to get my chest above her head here. So once I'm in this position, I'm going to shrimp out and keep my chest above her chest, my chest above her head. So she's fastened, catch the head, start hipping out, about. Keep that head low. So you're actually moving your chest around your opponent's head there. One more time. This is relatively simple once you get the hang of it. Elbow out. Remember, I'm using this as a frame. If they're starting to drive back into you, you can post that foot. Just keep shrimping. Okay? So as you guys get used to this motion, have your partner put a little more pressure on you. You have to be a little bit more honest about your technique. Keep that collar tight and nice and tight. One more time. I got the collar tight. Nora's driving into me. Keep stripping out. Move my chest. Try to get my chest on top of her head here. Okay? Make sense, everybody? All right. At this point, Nora's already closing the space off. Before, there was a lot of space for me to work and a lot of space to move my hips. Now the space is starting to shrink, so I'm getting into more trouble here. The less space I have to work, the more danger I'm in. So the best thing I can do in this case is shoot an underhook as she's passing, which is right here. Okay? So from here, I'm going to do a really basic bridge and reach. So I'm digging my toes in the mat. With my underhook, I'm trying to reach up over here on the mat. Boom, making some space. I can hip out here. Okay, so in this position, you guys are probably familiar with shooting your knee back in. That's perfectly fine. We're just going to drill something a little bit different. Let's say you're not comfortable going back in. Maybe she's already getting her knee in your hip or something. You're not feeling like you can get back inside. We're going to go to our knees. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my elbow behind me here. Okay? So the way to do that, I'm not trying to pull it underneath me. I'm going to just slide it around the mat behind me. I'm going to underhook in, post my left foot in the mat, bring my foot underneath my other foot here. So we look at that all in one motion. That's okay. You want me to bring somebody else in? Yeah. So as Nora's passing, boom, catch the underhook as she's coming down. If she lands, it's probably too late for you to get the underhook to take a lot more work. So now from here, I'm going to bridge and reach to make a little bit of space. Tripping out, elbow behind me, come out to my knees here, and then I'm just going to work my wrestling from here. We actually go single legs at this point. Because we spent 6 weeks or whatever on single legs. Just coming down, underhook, bridge, come out. All right, pretty simple stuff. We won't spend a whole lot of time on that. I just wanted to kind of expose. I'm a part of a super secret Facebook group where we all share videos about it. And a guy named Jeff Rockwell, he actually used to teach up at State College. He's in Austin, Texas now. He was showing us this. It's really awesome. Really awesome side control, escape technique. We'll go here for Mike's sake. Okay, so Nora's in here. She's got an underhook on me. She's got this arm dug out, so this arm's not even in her hip anymore. And she's smashing my chin here with this shoulder. This is the worst position I could be in side control aside from getting submitted. My arms are way out of posture, I'm flat, my chin is turned, so I can't really turn into Nora anymore. So I'm trying to bridge and shrimp. This is going to be bad news. And her head's nice and low. If I start trying to bring this arm in, she's going to A, duck her head, or B, pin it to the mat with her head and start looking at isolating this into like Americanas and Kimuras and stuff. So this is bad shape for me. So what I need to do is I need to gradually improve my posture and get myself back into a good position here. So the first thing I need to do is get my arm in front of Nora's face here. So like I said, if I just bring it in front, it's probably going to be bad news for me, especially if she's really turn her head towards me. Especially if she's really burying this here, I really can't get this around her face. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get my hips and my legs involved in a little different way than what we've looked at before. So I'm going to pick my legs up, okay? So my hips are off the mat a little bit. So now my hips are nice and heavy. I got a lot of weight on them here. And I can swing these to make some momentum. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually swing my legs to the side. I'm not swinging them out. I'm just right to my left here. I'm just going to swing my legs this way. And as I do that, my arm that's up, away out of her hip, one that's trapped here, I'm going to kind of bump her in the shoulder, just to get her nudging a little bit this way. So I swing, I bump, hit this forearm in front. All right, so that's first detail. So she's in nice and tight, she's squeezing nice and tight, just swing, just kind of punch out this way, a little Superman punch. Get this forearm in. Nora's laughing already. So the next problem This arm's still way out of position, and she's still destroying my chin here with this shoulder, so I need to make more space. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to work on the Z axis at this point. Everybody in side control thinks about up and away or towards our opponent. We can actually move this direction too. So I'm going to just frame here on Nora, just lock my forearm in. So this is grappling with our bones again. We've talked about this a lot. I'm making a frame with my bones here rather than fighting with my muscles. I'm just going to shoulder walk back. Stretch your arm out a little bit. Now most of the time they're going to kind of cling to this. They're not going to completely let go. I've made enough space now where I keep my forearm frame in, pummel this inside, catch your bicep here. Okay, so now we're kind of looking at that bicep escape we were doing before. Double up, boom, bridge this out, take some space and bring my guard back in. This escape is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I've had a ton of success with this. So I'm way out of position, legs up nice and heavy, rock and punch. Pop this forearm in. She's going to pedal back in, get me nice and tight again, which is fine. You can lock your hands together here, or you can just frame. I like this locking up here. Your shoulder walk back. So her head staying in the same place. I'm moving myself, not her. So now this is nice and stretched out. There's a little bit of space. If I can pummel this hand in, get bicep control. Double up here, bridge this out. Start popping in. So what you'll really come in, most times people will hop me on belly once you start bridging them out. That's fine, you don't have that really bad side control. One more time here. Everything's locked up nice and tight, legs heavy, swing to the side, punch at the same time. Pop this in front. Frame, shoulder walk back, pummel this hand in that side on that bicep, bridge it out, get back into your guard. Does that make sense, everybody? So most of the time we think about side control, everybody thinks about, I can either turn away and belly down, or I can turn in and get my guard. We forget completely about moving on that other plane, moving back and forth, moving ourselves away that way. That's a big revelation for me when Jeff showed that. So do that shot, guys. It's been really high percentage. It's great for the skate.